Birds are chirping, flowers are blossoming, and little plants are sprouting from the cold soil. Spring 2025 is upon us. It's starting to feel nice outside, and that cold cloak of seasonal depression is slipping off nicely.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be covering our cozy spring TBR.
So to start, we have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is a fantasy, and it's a young adult book, but we don't really care about that. It's good for all ages.
I feel like anything Diana Wynne Jones is like peak cozy fantasy, and this is exactly it. I think it's super springy, it's super cute and fun. We just did a video on it. We love it.
Yeah, so I thought that we could actually go through the themes and tropes found in these books so that you guys can get a better idea of what these books are about. Some themes and tropes found in this book are found family, she was beautiful all along, chosen destiny, and the idea of home, which is a cozy concept in itself.
Yeah, at the end, whenever Hal was staring at her for so long, I could basically feel him taking her glasses off.
Yeah, it was exactly like that cliche in every early 2000s movie where they take off the glasses, they straighten her hair, and they're just like, oh, she's beautiful. So I don't think that there is a specific season in this book. However, there is this scene where they're in this field of wildflowers and it just screams spring, and I can just picture it, and it's so beautiful, and it just reminds me of just the warmth on your skin and the bumblebees buzzing around you and just taking in the gorgeous flowers. I mean, what did you think for that scene?
I totally agree. She literally has a flower shop where she gets to pick flowers every single day in the waste.
So the next book on our list is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So I read this a very long time ago, and I just immediately thought of this book whenever spring was brought to mind for a TBR list, because the healing power of nature is such a big part in this, and I just feel like everyone thinks of spring with that.
Especially with seasonal depression becoming more of a thing lately, that we're locked in. Being outside and just being in nature really is comforting.
Yeah. So a couple of tropes and themes in this book are the stereotypical orphan, her parents die tragically, the fact that nature heals, the sickly child, and self-discovery, along with self-growth, healing, nature, and the whole idea of friendship, which I feel strongly correlates with the season of spring, because new friendships, new beginnings, all found in spring.
It's all about new endeavors, looking towards what's new. I almost feel like it's like the real New Year's resolution time.
I completely agree, because the whole idea that your new year starts in the middle of winter when you're most sedentary, please, give me a break. Nobody's starting to go to the gym in the middle of January. It's so cold out. I'm not leaving when it's dark out at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to the gym after work after that. But sun starts setting after 7 p.m. Yeah, maybe I'll go to the gym after that.
And we like running, and who wants to run whenever it's 30 degrees?
Oh, it's terrible.
But 70? Sign me up.
So the next book is Emma. It's genuinely, the story is a favorite of mine. I have not yet read it though, but I have 1, watched the movie Emma, 2, watched Clueless.
That's enough.
That's enough, right? No, it's not enough. I'm so sorry. Jane Austen fans, I did not mean that. Obviously, it's by Jane Austen, and this is about a misguided girl who loves matchmaking, and she just she's not very good at it with herself anyway. She has a lot of blunders, and it's about finding friendship in places that you would not originally expect it. And a couple of tropes and themes that are in this book are friends to lovers. There's a lot of class dynamics in it, so if you're into that old-timey, classes being separated, this book is definitely for you. And then also overcoming your own pride is a huge part of this. Yeah, so this isn't a typical romance, but the friends to lovers aspect just shows that relationships can spring up in the most unexpected places. This is not the stereotypical spring seasonal novel. It does go through, I think, a whole year. So it goes through all the seasons. But I think whenever I thought of spring, this was just a vibe. Like I said earlier, new relationships, new friendships, new romances, and also just the daintiness of it. It's so whimsical. I love it.
All right, next we have A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. It is a fantasy that's kind of always compared to like Narnia or Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. Similar kind of world. Obviously, it's got a lot of unique tropes, but you follow a main character named Ged, and he's magic. And he's good at magic. And he really struggles with having to be patient to get better at things. So he kind of hops into some things that he shouldn't, and it begins to backfire, and he quickly learns that he can't do that. So this book has a lot of themes of like patience, coming of age, the importance of community, and I feel like that's particularly important in a time of spring because you always want to just like gun it towards the first thing, but you always need to be patient because you need to balance the excitement with your ability to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like patience can be tied to spring so often because you have to be patient through the winter with the promise of spring at the end.
Mm-hmm. And from the beginning of the book, you are pretty much given away that Ged is going to be like the best wizard. And this is just the story before that. So again, like it does also give that payoff that it is going to happen after you're patient. Next, we have The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It is a book about a sheep herder by the name of Santiago who decides to go on a journey to seek his fortune based off of what a fortune teller told him to do. During that journey, he's taken to a great many people that kind of like shift his journey to be more of a worldly, tangible kind of fortune into more of like a self-actualization kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the themes of this are the interconnectivity of things, so kind of like how the Secret Garden was. As a sheep herder, you're obviously going to be around nature a lot, so that does play a role. The power of self is also important, so it's also about like finding the treasure within yourself. And really just following your dreams. There's a hero's journey of that exact idea.
Next book is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien.
So obviously, it's prototypical like hero's journey, coming of age stuff, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, which is kind of wild because I believe that the main character, Bilbo, he's like 30 or 40, right?
I think a little bit older, but somewhere around there. Yeah.
How old is he? He's having a new beginning at the age of 50, showing that like you're never too old to start something new.
I agree.
You're never too old to go on an adventure. You're never too old to like join a new friend group or start a new hobby, you know? Some common tropes and themes in this book are obviously coming of age. It's cozy. He wants to stay home. Because he wants to stay home, we have the trope of the reluctant hero. There's obviously a quest, there's a fellowship, and it's honestly just about trusting your friends and hoping you get there.
And let's be clear, I think calling in The Hobbit cozy is a little far-fetched.
I will amend my statement. It's cozy when he's in the Shire.
You could say that, but I'd say more of the coziness of it is him reflecting on his home and how much he just wants to be back at his house.
That's so true because there is, whether you call a place home or not is so important, and where he goes, he obviously has no home, and so he just thinks back over and over again, oh, I wish I was back home.
Exactly.
And like that, finding comfort in home is so cozy in itself. So our final book is The Magician's Nephew, which is a part of the Chronicles of Narnia series. It's actually the very first book in it, and it was written by C.S. Lewis.
Well, I've seen the movie. How the heck is that cozy?
So this is not the book that the first movie was based upon. The movie was based upon the second book called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And obviously that is very snowy, very cold, very bitter. It's not cozy at all. But this is totally different. This is before the evil queen witch Jadis took over Narnia and made it cold. So this is actually about the beginning of Narnia, new beginnings. And in this place, it's beautiful, it's warm, it's springy, it's summery. A couple of tropes that are in this book are the whole idea of good versus evil. We have Aslan versus Jadis. Then there's also the expected sexism from the time period. And then we also have the estranged family member, which I know a couple people are into that trope, but if you're not familiar with it, it's basically this usually orphaned boy or girl goes to a family member's house and they're not familiar with them and they're usually seen as creepy or anything, but they obviously grow to love them. And then the main themes are the idea of innate goodness, friendship, courage, and perseverance.
Well, I hope you liked our TBR.
And do you see that? Fire's catching. And if we burn, you burn with us.
Well, now that you mentioned it, I guess we should also add that this is on our TBR, not really on the same vibes, I wouldn't say. But we just got this today, so we just had to point it out. We're going to be doing a video on this here soon, in the next week or so.
If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like us, hit subscribe. And thank you for making it to the end of this video. I think that's it for today. Bye.
See ya.